What's happening, guys? Welcome back to Vertical Football. Welcome back to another episode of the Manchester United Fans Corner. I'm your host, Shegun. And guys, we are back again to talk about Manchester United. Obviously, we know that Ruben Amorim has been sacked. And I think we have a lot of discussions now to talk about in terms of the club and the direction to which the club is going to move through the future, right? So what we want to do today is really going to be an extensive analysis. We're going to be looking at, first and foremost, an evaluation of the board. We want to evaluate the board on certain metrics, certain promises they made when they came in. That's INEOS. We'll look at them within those lens. Then we'll look at the Manchester United after Sir Alex Ferguson. There is a strange, painful, but true reality that Manchester United have passed through after Sir Alex Ferguson. We'll look at that. And then lastly, we'll look at Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as the caretaker manager. I want to analyze what should we expect from Solskjaer. Let's remind ourselves, he's not a stranger to us. He's not a new person to us. Solskjaer is someone we know, someone we know what he can do. We've seen him in different moments, in good, not so good peak times. And so we analyze what he brings and what we hope doesn't occur again with him as a caretaker. So guys, let's jump right into it. Deep analysis. Let's talk about this. So first and foremost, let's go into the board evaluation. Now, I know Amorim is out. He has been sacked, and there's no point mentioning what happened with him per se, but let's look at the board. Let's face the board a bit. I, for one, want to say something that I've been very, very disappointed, because I think I've come here many times under the impression and the illusion that these guys, that's when I talk about the Berradas and the Wilcox, that these guys having been part of a working system at Manchester City, I expect that they have gotten a level of mastery in doing things. And with recent reports that have been dropping, some false, some true, but with every false, there's an iota of maybe truth in it. So we have to also take it with a pinch of salt. But when we take all the reports that have been coming, I've started to see certain things about the reports that have been coming to show that these guys may not be at the level to which I estimated them. Maybe I overestimated the likes of Wilcox and Berrada. And even maybe I'm even underestimating or overestimating, the ability of Jim Ratcliffe to actually deal with the footballing side of this club. Because there are a lot of questions that we need to ask. So first one is the common phrase that signifies the INEOS era, the mantra of the INEOS era, which is best in class. I think we need to look at that. And I think if you look at our former videos, when we had the phrase best in class, we had an episode where we talk about the positives and the negatives of the statement best in class, or that philosophy called best in class. In the sense that a working system, a functional structure, is not necessarily a structure of all stars. It's not necessarily a structure where everybody is the best in class, right? And we said at that time that a working structure is a structure made up of the right parts. It doesn't necessarily have to be the best in class. It's not that it's going to be inferior, but you have to have the right combination. And we said when you say best in class, you bring the best here, the best here, the best here. One of the things you have to also look at when you're bringing the best is that there will be ego clash. And from what I'm seeing currently, from the report coming out, I'm beginning to see, and this is not even just now, right from the Dan Ashworth time, and how the Ashworth was let go, Wilcox was promoted from technical director to the sporting director, and now that Wilcox started bringing his own guys, Vivell, brought in Vivell, and Vivell brought in other people to help him in transfer. I've always gotten the feeling that this is a system that will be filled with a lot of ego. And I can clearly say from what I've read and from what you have also read, that I believe this is a system that is prioritizing ego, and I'm going to prove these statements, over actual football decisions. People, they might be smart individuals, right? The best individuals in their various field of expertise, right? But the fact is, the best individuals does not ultimately mean that they produce the best structure, right? So these are questions. Do Do we really have the best structure? Are people really focusing on their jobs and actually doing their jobs? Or is there a lot of politics behind the scenes that attempts to encroach other people's jobs or not do their job as we expect them to do? We'll look at these things. Now let's go further into, are they actually doing their jobs? Do they actually know what their job is? And are they actually doing it? That's the board now. Let's first of all, let's look at the choice of the manager. For me, and I still want to say this to Manchester United fans, we don't know how a manager should be selected. We don't know. And this is one of the reasons why we've had the failures we've had post Sir Alex Ferguson. It started from Sir Alex, right? And the structure Sir Alex had when he was manager. And how that we never really signed the right manager, even up to today. Because it's all about, oh, there's that guy. We like that guy. The name sounds big. The name sounds promising. Let's go for him. And I think I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again. I think I said it in our last episode. I'm going to say it again. There is a definite way how to sign a manager. And the moment you don't go through that definite way, you will really end up nowhere else but failure. And the first thing you need as a club before you sign any manager is to first ask yourself, how do we want to play the game? Forget the names. Forget the Xavier Hernandez. Forget the Zidane. Forget the Simeone. Forget the Oliver Glasner. Sit down. Sporting director, technical director, all the other directors. You know, there are many directors in football right now. People that direct. And there are few coaches now, but there are many directors. Ask yourself, the directors, because there's a reason why I call the directors. It's not just to sit there in the cozy office. It's to direct the philosophy of the team, to direct the progress of the team. Ask yourself the most important question in football. How do we want to play? When you define that, every decision you will take must come and must be vetted from that, the answer you got from that question. Manchester United up till now does not know how we want to play. I've said it before. We've had a topsy-turvy progression of how we have gone about managers. Let me take you through briefly. From Moyes was just kind of like pragmatic kind of manager, you know, from his days at Everton. We left there, we went for Vanguard. We decided to play possession-based kind of football, right? The possession-based was boring. We dumped that. We went to Jose Mourinho. Jose Mourinho was pragmatic. At certain point, you see some attacking flair, certain point, but majorly, he wanted to be solid first at the back, then progress from there. We left Jose Mourinho. We went to the interim that time of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer came, gave us the high-flying wing position football. At certain points, it was counter-attack football. At most points, it was counter-attack football. You know, we left Solskjaer. We went from Solskjaer again to Ten Hag. Ten Hag came to say he wanted to do his, what they call it, is Ajax pattern in United. Right? Because a manager can just come and want to impose his own pattern because we don't yet have our own pattern. Ten Hag left. We went and we brought Amorim in. Amorim plays 3 at the back. He told you he played 3 at the back. And when he came, you say change. And let me address this because I think I've addressed this a lot, but I think it's very, very important to say this so that this is a period where we need to get some certain facts right. And that's why I was always, and I still maintain my stance, and this is one of the reasons why I support Amorim decision not to change this pattern, is because when you are asking a manager to change this pattern, and the manager doesn't change, and you see the manager is stubborn. No. It's not that the manager is stubborn. That decision not to change points to your own incompetence as a club. Because why are you bringing a manager in that is not playing your own style of football? And the question is, do you even have a style of football? United doesn't have a style of football. And that's why we just bring anybody in and we now ask them to change. You know? Because the fact is, if United has our own way of playing football, when Ganavi said Ajax, Barca, he has a point there. They have the way they see football. They have the way they want to play the game. And that's why not just any manager will be brought in. I've said this many times on this platform. That's why I respect that guy for not changing his pattern. for deciding that if you will not play my pattern, I leave. Because I shouldn't be here in the first place if it's that this club had an idea of how we want to play. And the fact is, when you look at the names that have been propping up a permanent manager, we still don't know how we want to play the game. We focus more on names instead of looking at systems. And when the manager comes, when it's not working, we say change. Change what exactly? People are still saying, let Glasner come. And Glasner will change. He has his flexibility. Why must Glasner change? Can't you actually go for somebody? Are you telling me the number of managers that are in the world, we can't get a manager that can play the exact kind of football we want to play? Why must managers change? Can't we fix our own identity and let the manager, be the round peg in a round hole? Why must they change? It doesn't make sense to me. And when people say the manager was stubborn, he did not change. No, it's actually an indictment of your club, an indictment of our club that we are not serious. We don't have a vision. And the Bible said it, where there's no vision, the people perish. The club is perishing. We don't have a vision. And up till now, we don't have a vision. We are hearing now that Ole would be looking at it's going to be like the caretaker. Maybe by the time this video comes out, it's already the caretaker manager. What connection is the caretaker manager in terms of identity having to do who we are going to bring it as the full-time manager? Right? We need to ask questions. Is it the pattern that Ole wants to introduce? Is it synonymous to keep the players in rhythm with what the permanent manager is going to bring? Or is just employ this one, employ that one, employ this one, and we keep looking like a mess of a club? We are badly run. The Glazers ran us badly. Even currently, the people there don't look like they are doing their job. Wilcox is not doing his job, obviously, because it's his job as the sporting director to create a footballing philosophy for this club. If I was to meet him, I would say, sir, what is the footballing philosophy? We've sacked the one. We've made a mistake with our money, Abi, because you brought in a manager that was playing 3 at the back. He told you. You said, no, you still want him. Abi, okay. We've made that mistake. Let's start afresh. Now, before we make another mistake in the next manager, what exactly and how exactly do we want to play football? If you can't answer that, for me, you have no business appointing managers. You have no business. Because all we will be doing is to be appointing different managers, and players who we bought for a particular system will become outcasts. Like the way Ratus Oiler was an outcast after Amorim came in. And now who knows the next manager that's coming in? Maybe Sesko will be an outcast. Maybe Kuma will be an outcast. Maybe Mbemo will be an outcast, depending on the profile of the manager. Because Man United is like an amoeba. We are not firm in our identity. We fit into whoever we bring in. The manager don't like giving Man United an idea. We don't have an idea. So let's move on. I don't want to spend much time on that. Let's look at another era of the club, the board, and evaluation of the board in terms of what they have been doing. Let's look at another part of it. Is the fact that INEOS, after they've come in, we have seen a very, very strange hire and firing, quick hiring and firing. That doesn't make sense, right? It does sometimes. Even the firing is always late. It's always at the wrong time. For example, Ten Hag. We said it on this platform. Ten Hag should have been sacked after the FA Cup. Everybody can think. I think everybody now can agree. That time it was as if we hated him. Ten Hag should have been sacked after the FA Cup because the football was abysmal. Something should not change your mind about it. And if you remember, I said it on this platform that Postecoglou will not last at Tottenham because despite the fact that there was an Europa League that was won, the football was abysmal. See, football is all. See, let me say this. There are 3 major parts of football, right? And for you to have consistent success in this game, these 3 parts must be as one, right? Number 1 is that you must get 3 points, right? To win anything, you must get 3 points. And one of the things is that these 3 points is the foundation now, but sometimes, right, it can be the most deceptive. Really, it can be the most deceptive, right? So the second one is that you must have a clearly defined philosophy and system. Clearly defined, that everybody must know that this is the United way. Now, I'm not talking about the one that Guy Neville is postulating about the DNA. That one a different discussion. I'm saying that whether we have to recreate a United way. How does Manchester United want to look like in this era? You must have a clearly defined identity of play. Go and check Arsenal. Go and check Manchester City. Go and check the Barcelonas. Go and even check the Real Madrids. They have a clearly defined way of how they want to approach the game. Their own way of seeing football. Right? And then, thirdly, football is not just about 3 points. And that's why I said one of the most dangerous statements in the world of football is, so far we just got the 3 points. No, football must be gotten, 3 points must be gotten in the right way for it to be consistent. And that third part of this discussion is romance. Football is also about romance. It must be beautiful to watch. It must be exciting to watch. Sometimes you can get 3 points. The 3 points can deceive. You can be getting the result and people say, oh, we are winning. Because sometimes for a lot of football fans, a lot of people in the footballing world, it's just the 3 points. But sometimes you must be convincing in getting your 3 points. That is what makes your game lasting. That is what brings lasting success to a team. 3 things I've mentioned now. Number 1 is 3 points. You must win things. Right? Secondly is that you must have a clearly defined philosophy and identity of your club. The manager shouldn't be influencing it. You have. And then from you as a club, you choose managers that fit into what you want to do. Let me use an analogy. It's just like saying, I want to fix my toilet. I need a plumber. When I see my problem, I need a plumber. When I go out, I'm not looking for a carpenter. I'm looking for a plumber. Yes or no? But what we are doing in Manchester United is that we have leaking pipes in our club. And then we go out and then we go and carry a carpenter and say, come. Change to become a plumber. It doesn't make sense. You understand? And the carpenter says, I will fix the pipe the way I am doing it as a carpenter. You saw what I was doing out there. You called me in. That's what we are doing. It doesn't make sense. And it's not look like a ship of fools. I'm sorry to use that word. It looks like a ship of fools. No direction. No direction. I'm sorry to say this. I'm sorry for my words, but I think it's the fact. I love this club so much, and that's why I'm analyzing like this. Because that's one of the beauty when you're analyzing your own club. You can be clear-eyed if you can actually be clear-eyed, and also you be passionate at the same time. And it will have the right mixture of being with the facts and also with passion. We look like a club that is being run by a ship of fools. No identity. I'm sorry for my words once again. No identity, no philosophy, nothing. We are carrying carpenters to do the work of plumbers right now. And we're asking them, why can't this carpenter change to become a plumber? Carpenter says, I will not change. That's why they do them. Now nail, I go tell you to do the plumbing work. Wood and nail. He say, no, why can't you use a pipe? The question is, did you identify your issues? And did you go and get a plumber? I move on. Ashworth is another one. Quick firing. Ashworth came in. Yes, I understand the fact. I'm beginning to see reports that Ashworth was someone I liked, and I was very surprised because I did analysis on him. But I know that yes, people say because he proposed, the news said he proposed Gareth Southgate, right? Which I know, yes, everybody knows that is wrong. But the fact is, we are beginning to also see reports come out to say actually the guy advised against, going for a manager playing 3 at the back, right? He was telling them, do we know who we are? Do we know the tradition of this? So Ashworth even understands that the club should set the philosophy, not the manager setting the philosophy. He understands that, but it looks as if the people over there don't get it. And I said that time, that are we willing to, the episodes are there. It's on TikTok, go and check them. When I said United had changed the identity from wingers to inside forwards. And I said, are we willing to stick with this? Because if you want to change, I'm not against you changing, but are you willing to stick with it? But it looks as if the people there don't even know what they're doing. Amorim, another quick one. I think his own, we have analyzed it many times. He told them, this is what I want to play. And that team approach earlier, Liverpool, they told them, they said, no, we know what we want. If you're not going to change your system, then we just leave you. But United that doesn't have a philosophy, identity, we carry on come. Now we can't say, change, you must change for what? And I like the fact that how we left. Vivell. Let me tell another part now. Vivell. When I had the report, let me see this. When I had the report about Vivell sending a clip of what the Fulham manager Marco Silva said, and he said into the group, and it's like they say Marco Silva is saying that we are so exposed, we are so predictable. And when I heard that, I was like, I get the fact that a lot of people that have an agenda, they proved that point by saying Vivell was actually proving the point and says we need to change our system to a back four, right? That if we change our system to a back four, somehow we won't be predictable and everything. So that one day, Vivell did that. But when I look at it, I was like, I asked myself, the first question I asked myself, because I like to think, the way I think sometimes can be different. And I was like, what is Vivell's job actually in this club? Is it to determine the philosophy of play or to go and buy players? Vivell's job is not to set the philosophy. Vivell's job is not to tell us to go to a 3 or a 4. Vivell's job is to receive what we are told him about the profiles we want and go and search. So you look at it that it's truly a ship of fools. Vivell, somebody that's going to go and buy players, is that the one coming in the WhatsApp group to say we need to change our system? They are saying our system is too predictable. We need to concern Vivell with philosophy. Is it not Wilcox's job? So the fact is, who is not even the sporting director of United? Is it Vivell or Wilcox? Because I had to check Vivell's profile, what he's meant to do. And I see he's meant to be in charge of recruitment, identifying the profiles we have, working with the scouting department and getting talent for us. That's what we're going to do. We can consign that one with philosophy and everything. You can see everybody do everybody enter everybody role. And that's why Amorim said it. Even though, yes, you have your disagreements with Amorim, even me, I have some things I'll say about him. I'm going to do an episode on it where I said the fact that he was too honest and a particular level of the honesty was immaturity. I will analyze that as time goes on. But the fact is, Amorim said something that I want to pick. I want to use this word. Let the manager do his job and you do your job. Because see what we are facing now. Amorim has gone, now concerned again. But the people that remain now, are they even doing their job? Technical director to buy players, to buy players, director of recruitment is telling sporting director, we need to change the system. They are saying it's predictable. Okay. Lastly, our ambition to compete. Forget what you have been told or forget what you think happened. I think we should all come to the point where we understand that Amorim could have been sacked because of the results, right? Amorim could have been sacked for many, many reasons. But the major reason why Ruben Amorim was sacked was not because of the results. The major reason Ruben Amorim was sacked because he called the board out for not being too ambitious. And I understand that Amorim obviously looks like an emotional manager, and I hope he learns from being not too emotional. But the fact is, he was very emotional. And I think one of the things that made him emotional, I've said it here before, is the fact that City, with all that they have achieved, are very ambitious enough to go and get Semenyo, to make sure that Semenyo comes. And if maybe he felt that United was not ambitious enough, and also the fact that, okay, they missed out on Semenyo, and there was no plan towards the January transfer window. And I think that's when he lost it. That how can I compete? Because football truly is not about what you want to do in isolation. It's not about you saying, we will just spend in summer transfer window alone. You are not playing the league against yourself. You are playing against your opponents. If people ahead of you in the table are still being ambitious to go and buy players, and your board is telling you, wait, not summer. You're like, the best players are already moving. If you say we should wait till the summer and somebody go and snaps up Baleba, or somebody snaps up Elliot Anderson, or somebody has an agreement with him in that period. So what exactly are we doing? So I think forget Amorim, as I always say, forget Amorim now. Let's focus on what are the many. Are we ambitious enough? And one of the things I've said is the fact that it doesn't matter who the Manchester United next manager will be. It doesn't matter the number of managers you will bring. Manchester United will still have to spend a lot to revamp our squad. Forget it, our squad is not good enough. I don't want to call players' name, but you know what I'm talking about. Sure, Maguire is still in this team. Even though Maguire will be leaving. Dalot is still in this team. Casemiro is still our starting midfielder in this team. Can you see what I'm saying? We just need to spend money. It doesn't matter who the manager is. So I think our decision now is not about spending, whether we spend money or not. Our decision is which manager are we going to trust enough to spend that money, because we have to spend money. If there's anybody that will hear this video from Manchester United, if you cannot spend money, then you should sell the club, because no matter what happens, you have to spend. You have to spend. People are spending. Except if you want to go and be looking at 1.5 million gems like 11, right? Get to those kind of players. But the fact is, you have to spend to get the best players. Players are expensive now, and we have to spend. And if you don't have the money to spend, sell the club. Give people that have money to spend. And let's hope that when you have money to spend, you also have a philosophy to back the spending. You have to spend. Either you collect it or not, you have to spend. If not, we'll be left behind. I've already left behind already, but we'll be left behind. It will even be beyond the manager. It will be beyond the manager. We'll be so left behind. It will be shocking. I've already left behind, but we'll be so left behind. We need to spend. It doesn't matter. And that's why I keep saying it that, for me, people might not like this, but for me, one of the favorite people we've had, characters we've had after Sir Alex Ferguson, was Ralph Rangnick. I love Ralph Rangnick. Yes, maybe not on the footballing side of things, but I love the fact that the man was clear-eyed. Even Amorim also, because of press conferences and I think it was clear-eyed also. It was clear-eyed. I think Ten Hag was clear-eyed at a point, but I think he just lost it. He lost it, really. But these two guys, but especially Ralph Rangnick, let me say this and let me remind us of this. No matter the manager, Manchester United needs an open heart surgery. No matter the manager. And this open heart surgery is not just about buying players. First of all, the surgery will begin from, first of all, how do we want to play? After that, get a manager based on how you want to play. Now, trust that manager and invest in that manager and give that manager time. Let's try that. Right? Let's try that and let's see. I have a lot of things, so my book is full, but I know that I have to be brief. So let's move on quickly to United Circle. There's a particular circle of doom. I call it the Manchester United Circle of Doom. I'm sorry. I love this club. Funny enough, I've been supporting this club since when I was 8 years old. I'm not a young man now. I know I'm not as old as some other people, but this is the club I've known all my life. I've supported those through all that has happened, the good times and the terrible times. And I'm still supporting the Man United. I never support a manager, never support a player. I support the club. As for me, if you're a United player, I care about you. The moment you become another person's player, au revoir, goodbye. I focus on the players in the club. I love the club. So, and that's why I'm saying this, that there is a circle of doom. Let me show you the circle. And maybe some of them have seen the circle before, but let me show you the circle of doom. When we say United is moving in circles after Sir Alex Ferguson, people think it's just words. It's physical. You can actually track it. Now, Man United has, the managers we've had so far, since after Sir Alex Ferguson, permanent managers, right, have come from just four nations. From Scotland, that is David Moyes. From Netherlands, Holland, that is Ten Hag and Van Gaal. Follow me. Portugal, Mourinho and Amorim. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Look at the trend. First of all, it was Moyes. Someone that has something to do with someone that has something to do with Sir Alex Ferguson, right? Sir Alex Ferguson handpicked him to come to United, right? It didn't work out. He was sacked. We brought in Giggs, right? As an interim for maybe the last 4-5 games, right? And then we went to Van Gaal. Look at the circle we are moving through now. Follow me. Van Gaal came in. One of the major characteristics of Van Gaal's game, or the way he went about, was that Van Gaal sold a lot of our players out. A lot of the good players you think you knew we had then were sold out by Van Gaal. Check the same pattern occurring in the other Dutch manager that came after Van Gaal, Ten Hag. What happened? Sold players out also. Right? suit players out, players that you think are good, academy boys that you think are good, suit them out, you know, and they tried to do a whitewash and ultimately did not succeed. Now, who took over after them? Because when you look at when Van Gaal left, you know, when Van Gaal left, the next permanent manager after Van Gaal was a Portuguese. Who was the Portuguese after Van Gaal? Jose Mourinho. After Van Gaal, after Ten Hag left, who was the next permanent manager after Ten Hag? A Portuguese. Can you see the trend now? Ruben Amorim. Yeah, I know this on the pitch activities, you know, differ. Mourinho won trophies. Amorim did not win anything. Amorim had a very terrible record for Manchester United in terms of the stats, right? Okay. Now, Mourinho had an issue with one of our academy boys, one of a one-time academy boy, in form of a dark midfielder, or Pogba. Yes or no? Amorim is had an issue also with a academy boy, midfielder also, talented midfielder, in terms of not playing and everything with what Mourinho. Mourinho left because he felt the ball was not ambitious enough. They didn't back him enough. Yes, the results also were contributory, but Mourinho was also coming out to talk about the heritage of the club, that the club is not ambitious enough, that the club, you understand, is not pushing enough. Amorim also the same thing. After Mourinho left, this is why I will end it. Who came aboard as the caretaker after Mourinho? You know, we had Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, caretaker, right? Now, it's looking like after Amorim now, we are still having that person, Ole, coming in. And who knows, maybe Ole will repeat what he did in terms of my goal, maybe 10 matches unbeaten. And the board decides to give Ole the job the same way Glazers gave Ole the job then. And maybe the cycle again. Ole will not become permanent manager, reach certain finals, not able to win. Then he will be sacked. And maybe a Dutch manager will be, or maybe somebody else will be, and then the cycle goes. When I tell you that there is a circle of doom in this club, there's truly a circle of doom. I don't know if you get that picture. There's truly a circle of doom. And for me, I hope I'm not correct. I hope this is just a coincidence. I hope it's just a coincidence because we don't know what we are doing in this club, if I'm being honest with you. Sometimes I would just think and say, car. But I think we can only do what we can do here. It's just to analyze what is the situation. Let us define how we want to play. Let's go to the foundation. And start again. And get it right now. We don't know what we are doing. That's why we can't actually commit to a process because we don't even have the vision. Many times, the fan base, the legends, the board, everybody is all about quick results. But the fact is, lasting success does not come that way. Yeah, you can win 1 or 2. The way Chelsea wins in patches. Chelsea has they win in patches. But the fact is, when you look at Chelsea, they've never really had a sustained time of dominance because that's what you get. When you decide to sack managers, you do never have sustained level of dominance like we had with Sir Alex Ferguson, like Man City's having with Pep Guardiola. Let's go for a very good manager. This is my own opinion. I believe the last 3 managers we've had, permanent managers we've had, are managers that they're not big names, and where we got them from, I would say is the best countries to get them from. Where they were working, or where their record. I won't say they were the best, even though I know that yes, Amorim, I saw some things I felt would work out, but it didn't work out with him. But the fact is, look at Ole. Look at Ole's CV. Is Ole's CV looking like a manager that will succeed in Man United? It's a long shot. Even after I left Man United, he didn't coach for a number of years. Went to Besiktas, was sacked after a couple of months. I'm not saying we will not succeed in Man United if he comes. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying, look at the trajectory. We went for one of the best managers outside the top leagues, after the top 5 leagues. That's the Ten Hag. See how we ended up. We went for another manager that was doing well outside the top five leagues in Ruben Amorim. He's not doing well. So what are we learning from these experiences? And how should that shape the next manager we are going to get? These are the things we should look at. What pattern do we want to play? And who do you think can fulfill it? You get that? Which manager can we really say we want to back with £1 billion in transfer spendings? that we believe that he fit the philosophy we already have, and we're going to back him with £1 billion, and let's see who succeed in terms of right profile signings, getting it after it. Do you get that? Lastly, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Really, for me, it won't be the end of the world if Solskjaer comes back. Even though I know that, as I said, Solskjaer come back as caretaker marks another point in this dangerous circle of doom for me. Yes, people I say it's coincidence, Joe. Why are you looking too deeply into it? Yeah, but the fact is, for me personally, I don't believe things are coincidences. Really, I believe everything tells you a message. I'm not saying that because of that it's good to fail. Please, I'm just saying that that's the trend I've seen, and I'm just bringing it to your attention. But I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, one of the things that we can expect from Solskjaer is the fact that the players obviously will have more freedom to play. The system of Solskjaer allows the players to express themselves. I think if there's anything that you want to describe Solskjaer's philosophy as, is express yourself. And I think we will see players be less burdened by tactical instructions, and they will be allowed to express themselves. Now, and that's why the system works at the beginning, but at time is the fact that Ole system, as we saw in the first era, it lacks tactical foundation. It lacks a strong tactical foundation. That's why you see that Ole most times, just to remind you, Ole was a manager that did not have a plan B. The moment you stop what he wants to do in plan A, it's gone. Let me just remind us. But I know it's a caretaker now. Maybe just a couple of months we'll use him. But maybe in case he goes on a 10, 15 match win streak and we decide to make him permanent like the first time, it's to remind us the issues that happened in the first season, and let's look at it while we are winning the games. Is this a manager that did not have a plan B? Just to remind us. So let's look at that. Is he not having a plan B? Because I had that Ole said he wanted to come and correct the mistakes he made in the first time. Okay, I hope they give him the job. I hope by the time we this thing out, maybe that's been announced that he's giving the job. But the fact is, has he corrected that aspect of his coaching? He must have a plan B. So other things about Ole is, for a lot of times we play counter-attack football. And I think it was at the moment where Ole decided enough of counter-attack, that we want to be now more expressive and dominate. That's when we started losing games. Coincided with when Ronaldo came back and everything went haywire. So the question now is that, are we going to dominate teams? I believe we have players that can do that. We've seen some games where we tried to do that this season. And I feel I wouldn't like us to go back to counter-attack. For me, I would not like that. I would not like that, because I don't believe the next manager will also bring in after Ole. If Ole doesn't become permanent manager, I don't think that manager would also want to be playing counter-attack football. I don't want to get the players' head back in terms of defending and counter-attack. I wouldn't want to do that. I would want us to dominate. I know we didn't dominate every time against under Amorim. Clearly, people might say, oh, well, but we're defending by with 5. You can have the opinion, but the fact is that's a part of the game we also, have to work with. We also have to work with. But I saw that there were a lot of games where Amorim came out to try and play. They were not able to do that. But I also hope that Ole will try and make this squad to try and dominate. Let's not have a defense mindset first. Let's try and be more aggressive, more because of the kind of expressive kind of football we will be expecting under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Then I obviously there were defensive issues in the first term. We considered goals crazily at a certain point, which I believe we are still considering goals now. So Ole, can he help us to at least make us solid at the back, right? With his assistant and everybody, can he make us solid at the back, right? I think that will be amazing. Okay, another thing about the fact that things that I believe Ole should come and solve also is the fact that we're all running. I think even under Ten Hag, we're still running. For most part, we're running. Under Amorim, I think I have no questions about us not running under Amorim. We ran to the best of our abilities. But the fact is, under Ole, at certain points, we stop running. And I think it should come and correct that. We need players that want to run. Players that will maintain running. We need players that are intense. You understand? This team is not yet a team that is that intense, but even though we see some good patches, but we need a team that is sustainably running, not players that will just be walking when, not showing ambition when we are playing teams and we will get carved open. So I think we need to work on that. But obviously, I feel that, we need to improve on these things. And lastly, I want to say also, lastly, about the things that Ole needs to work on is that during Ole's time, we're predictable in how we attacked. And most times it was, our ability was most times Bruno to the wings. But we don't want us to see that kind of football. That football would have been good for 2019. That football is not good for 2026, if I'm being honest. If I'm being honest, we don't want to see that kind of football. This season, I know, yes, we don't be perfect, but the fact is that I have analyzed it before, that the number of passes we have in our midfield currently is short, intricate passes for most times. When we're able to do that, we don't have those every time. Yes, there are moments in the game where you can hold the opponent. For example, against Wolves, the 4-1 win, we did that trying to, catch them. You understand? Yeah. Because but the fact is that I feel that we should not do more of that, because at certain points we're predictable. And that's why at the end of it, we depended so much during Ole's time on individual moments. I don't want us to do that. I'm saying this, if he eventually becomes the permanent manager, these are things that we have to analyze and see the mistakes he made in the first time he was with us as full-time manager, and let's see how he's able to correct them. And maybe when we see those corrections and he has done that, we might advocate for him to become a permanent manager. Depending on what we see. Who cares whether it's another circle that's been created? Maybe if we see those things from now to the end of the season, we might evaluate if they should make him permanent and give him another shot. Who knows? Maybe it might just be the special one we're looking for. Right? So guys, let me have your opinion on what I've said. I've said a lot, I know. But let me have your opinion on what I've said. We'll be coming with more and more analysis towards the new manager, towards even Ole's time at the club, if he eventually gets appointed. And obviously look at what Fletcher is going to do. Look at what Fletcher's idea of football is, and the dynamics that Fletcher brings to the team. But for me, I keep saying that the United identity is not a formation. But I'll keep saying it. This is my own view of how I see the club. United identity is in terms of passion, desire, never die attitude, and the ability to try to entertain, the ability to try to win things, right? To try to win things. I think for me, if we're able to do that, I think it would be amazing. So guys, let me have your opinion on what I've just said. Do you agree? Do you disagree? As usual, let's drop it in the comment section. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to share. And ultimately, guys, keep yourself healthy. Keep yourself in the right frame of mind in this period. Until we see you next time. Bye.